take a screenshot of it real quick while I talk through the intro right here. Because why not? Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. It's that time for the daily news. I'm actually recording it live on Twitch. This, if you haven't seen it yet, is the contest calendar for the month. I'll just leave it up for a second so you guys can screenshot it. I'm not going to go over all of it. But that's your contest calendar for the month, your CSS, the events, etc., etc. So Showdown week 1, Faction Feud week 2, Showdown week 3, Flash Feud week 4, Faction Boss week 5. So 5-week MLC. That's your contest calendar. So yes, I am indeed live on Twitch, and we're gonna do the daily news today. So first things first, let's check the freebie stuff. Make sure you claim your blitz ticket and do it right away. That's super important. Do not miss your daily blitz claim. That's what your faction is counting on for the limited time prize wall. If you want to see my thoughts on the limited time prize wall, I posted that video earlier today. You can check that out. But here's the blitz ticket you want to make sure you claim. So make sure and claim that. And then do your blitz. It's really easy. I've had no issues with Bronson Reed. Other notes, there's an issue with the Showdown for some people. I think it's mostly Apple users. I haven't had a problem. It's possible. Try not using 2 hot tag people together. That might fix it. Potentially. Give that a try. So that's a possible workaround, but Scopely is aware of it and they're working on it. So there's that. Also check your Facebook Messenger because you just got messaged on Facebook. And all right, where do we go from here? Let's do the, so I did my Titan takeover matches today. Let's check the store, see if there's anything I'm gonna grab. I am gonna grab I like wildcard. I'm gonna take the wildcard. Okay. So that's that. A bunch of stuff going on. There's energy tours, but of note, the modern era one, make sure you do, even if you don't want energy, because you get a loot pull. So if you're free to play, there's a loot pull in here you can get. Even if you don't have AJ, you get 1. If not, you have 2, right? If you have AJ, you get 2, otherwise 1. So make sure and do that. This is on a 24-hour timer, right? So get those done. The rest of them is just energy for Showdown, which honestly you probably don't care about or need. We'll get to that more in a second. Your Deck the Ring, your kickoff tour, make sure and get all that done. You don't need Bronson Reed for this. You can do this without Bronson Reed. So make sure you do it because there's additional points for your faction in some of these milestones and stuff. So do normal, hell, and hard. Use Bronson Reed where you can. If you're free, you'll have it on normal, but not on hard or hell. So make sure and get those done. You have 2 days to get that done sooner rather than later. Okay. Then we go to the weekly tours. Yep. I already said that, Wolf. Yep. We go to the weekly tours, and 1 day, 20 hours on these. Really fast, short cooldown. Much dislike. So make sure and get those done. Your CSS, the first one is McCool. Your next one is Vision Seth. Otherwise, you just use your best powerhouse, you know. Modern era, if you got AJ as her. Otherwise, you're going to just use, I think it's Modern era again. It might be wide open, but I think it's just Modern era. I haven't tried that one yet. Yeah, just your best Modern era lady if you don't have AJ. Bunch of resources in these, so don't miss it. Tech Tour is Ray from last month, so that's a pretty doable, achievable one. And then Showboat Tour is Dom. So if you got Dom, use them for the Showboat Tour. But these are on a short timer, so make sure and get these done. Much shorter timer than you would expect, right? I don't like that change, that part. There are way more resources in these tours this month, so don't miss them. And then, if you didn't know, the Bronson Reed normal tour was moved to Victory Tours, so make sure you do that. it makes sense to have it here because this is all the people when you recruit them each month. So don't miss out on the Bronson Reed tour in here. You can see I still have to do that. You got 4 days on your victory tours though, so no big rush there. Showdown going on. Really all you care about, and you can't really afford to miss Showdown anymore. Each week, there's 500 Roxanne shards in Showdown. 2,500 of the 3,000 shards you need for Roxanne. The other 100 are in free milestones on the weekend event. So you need to get this every single week if you want Roxanne the S tier, so don't miss it. Once you have it, then you can get 70 Bronson Reed tokens per. So I guess maybe it's worth doing that, the energy for that if you're somebody who has struggles with tokens like my free-to-play, so I'll probably get as much of that energy as I can and do it for the Bronson Reed tokens, right? Let's just check my Showdown store here. TP, I'll buy that. Yeah, half off. All right. So, yeah, that's the Showdown. There are some buffs. You don't need to use anyone. It's wide open. But you do have 10 MP for Sako, as well as 200% gem damage. Right. Mysterio family, 6 MP boost. Mankind has the 10 MP and 200% gem damage. Visionary Seth, 200% gem damage. AJ Lee, 200% gem damage. And then you get some extra 100% health for Attitude Era Superstars. Like normal, this is fine. If you want to get first place, not worth spending for at all. These are the new Chest of Disappointment. They're great free in my opinion. Certainly not worth spending for, though. Sometimes you get something pretty good. Most of the time it's just a little bit of extra. So again, worth playing for, not worth spending for. I do like the addition, to clarify. I just don't like spending for it. This is your Gauntlet Blitz, Bronson Reed. No real traps I noticed. I've just autoed it. Yeah, like I said, do these sooner than later. Every ticket you have, get it done right away because it feeds the faction event, which feeds the limited time prize wall, which a lot of your faction mates may be counting on those points. Stip Tour, who hits Hardest Men today? I think I bought my Stip stuff today. Yes, I did. But check your Stip store for stuff you might want to buy. And that's the new stuff for this week so far. Other changes I kind of covered in a couple other videos, so I won't necessarily talk about it a lot. So offers, if you're not patient and you want 150% gem damage for Sako, check out my showcase on him. He's an excellent rework. Very excited about that. They're selling him at gold with 10,000 shards and a 150 strap for $20. This is guaranteed, so I never mind these offers. If it's worth it, that's up to you. But I think it's a fine offer if it's worth 20 bucks for you, if you don't normally max the armory, or if you just want to buy them because you want to. I personally wouldn't when they're in the armory, right? But I don't mind the offer because it's guaranteed. You know what you're going to get. Yeah. I don't like this because I don't like selling hype, so this isn't one I would recommend buying. Starter packs have fine value if that's your thing, right? I think it's actually a lot of times some of the better value you can get. You should buy these day one, though, of each MLC. Nothing changes from there. This is what you buy to unlock the half-off prize wall. These are not good pricing on any of these. Armory, I wouldn't. Keys, I wouldn't, right? And energy, I definitely wouldn't. Backstage Pass, I do like. Has some added value. All your Stip Tours get 99 MP. They just added that to it this month, so added value there. Worth noting, my free-to-play can't get a Hall of Fame strap. 100% gem damage strap for a technician. Kind of nice. I think this is, if I was spending on this account, I would definitely snatch up the Backstage Pass. I do think it's good value. If you go online to the portal, you get daily bags. Besides this too, you get loot coin pulls and stuff. It ends up being really strong value. One of the better deals probably they run on a weekly basis. So there's that. Other than that, that's kind of it on the offers. As far as the loot, there's lots of changes. Oh, also, the half off prize wall, if you buy the $100 starter, unlocks this prize wall with extras half off. If you're not sure what's in it, you can see the video I posted this morning talking about all the prize walls. This is the very short run and why you need to do the blitz in those tours, because a lot of your faction mates can get full cards that they may not have, or some pretty solid plates potentially that they also may not have. You can see the free-to-play is up to 890 currency, so at the very worst I could get myself a 6-star bronze bow down to the Queen Charlotte flare if I wanted to, right? So yeah, it's kind of important. So make sure and get those done. That's for that prize wall, and that's why it's a big deal, because it's not just about you, it's about the other 99 people in your faction. Right? As far as the loot goes, tons of changes. The kickoff loot, I covered this in the morning video, but I'll talk about it again. I think for a kickoff loot, it's actually quite good. The featured and super rare pool is pretty good, and you get some Dom shards, Seth shards, AJ shards guaranteed along the way, right? So it's actually pretty good to me. This is one of the better looking kickoff loots I think. All of the featured is pretty strong. Potentially Ray is a weaker one in there for sure. You know, but for the most part, it's way better than this usually looks, and you're going to get 3 sets of guaranteed most likely shards, and if not, you're getting a poster. Shards of those guys are a poster. Super rare is just Dom and Ray, but then even in the very rare, there's a lot of really good full posters in here, and not a ton of junk. I mean, when you look at it, and the very rare is a 7% chance, so it's not horrible. And the same thing, there's some decent stuff in the rare pool too. It could be, it usually is worse, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. I feel like this pool is better than it often is a lot of times, and then it's just shards at the bottom. But just know it's not really feeding any event or anything like that at this point, so there's really not a huge reason to do it unless you just want to do some pulls, right? It doesn't feed your faction event at all. Speaking of faction event, 4,000 more, very nice. And it doesn't, I don't think it doesn't feed your solo event either, so it's not really necessary. But compared to the kickoff, what it usually is, I feel like it's better than normal. Armory has changed. I mean to see how this plays out. You get the armory currency for the prize wall just for doing the armory pulls, right? So you don't have to choose or do any of that kind of stuff there, which is kind of nice. But it's one loot, which is kind of a double-edged sword. If you wanted to target, say, specifically gears, you no longer can. All the stuff is in the same pool. They did remove the posters, which I actually kind of like, because mostly it was actually really like on both accounts. Mostly you're just getting very little amounts of shards when, you know, you kind of mostly, if you do these armory loots, typically you want the plates, you want the moments, you want the whatever. So I missed the targeted, but I do like the overall loot better than I thought I would. So we'll have to see how the pulls look, though. Again, more on that if you watch the video I did talking about it earlier. Briefcase loot, this is actually way improved. You do a 1 briefcase pull, you get a guaranteed solo Sokoa. Two sets of 55, right? Guaranteed Roger Rabbit, guaranteed Fatu. 300, you get the guaranteed 6-star gold chest. You're not having to choose between the stuff anymore with your tokens. So way improved. So I'm a fan of that. And yeah, I guess that's it today for the daily news. I don't think I have anything else super exciting other than that. Just get your crap done. In particular, the kickoff tour, very important, and the blitzes, very important, and claim your blitz tickets, and then don't miss Showdown for the Roxanne shards. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Hope you have a lovely holiday season, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. Other than that, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. That was the news. Yeah.